Have you ever had an opinion you thought was a popular one, thinking most people agreed with you? Then, slowly through time, you start to hear something different and you find out your opinion is actually an unpopular one. This happened to me recently, one of mine being that I thought that the Tony Hawk Underground series was leaps and bounds way better than any of the pro skaters. I thought we were all in agreement with this, but upon some Googling, I found most lists of best Tony Hawk games don't even have Undergrounds or any open world style games until around the 4th spot. I feel so betrayed. It could come down to nostalgia like it always does, but although I have nostalgia feelings for Tony Hawk Pro Skater for the N64, you know, the blue one, I have fonder memories and played the Undergrounds way more, especially the first one. Every few years I will get an itch to replay them, something I rarely do. I'm still baffled by this, so please let me know where you land in the comments. Do you agree or disagree? Are the Tony Hawk Undergrounds and any of the open world style games better than the pro skaters? It comes down to the freedom for me. The pro skaters limit you to 2 minutes and you can only do a handful of things in single player. Multiplayer is about the same, but those 2 minutes feel kind of restricting. The exploration in the underground is great, the great cast of characters, the hopping off the board, the stories, the customization, it ain't even close to me. Anyway, I might do an underground video later down the line, but today I'm here because back in 2020, Activision decided to release Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 1 and 2 Remake. And like I mentioned, I've dabbled with the first Tony Hawk, never really the second, so I was definitely on board to play this game. Get it? On board? So in case you don't know, in Tony Hawk Pro Skater, there isn't really any story. It's more of an arcade type of gameplay, where you have a list of goals to complete within the level before time runs out. You have to complete the same 7 goals in each level. These are reaching certain scores, a certain combo score, collecting the letters for the word skate, collecting 5 of something specific to the level, and getting a secret tape hidden within the level. Plus, there's a handful of goals that are level specific, like performing a trick over something or jumping over something that's in the level, stuff like that. The catch is you only have 2 minutes per run, like I mentioned, so you don't have to beat everything on the first run. The best way to go about it is focusing on one goal at a time, after going wild your first run exploring. Your progress is saved after each run, so if you miss a few goals, feel free to move on knowing that you can always come back to finish your remaining goals. They added some goals that weren't in the original, but I don't feel like they're out of place. I enjoyed those as well. Skating around the level in search of the last missing item can be stressful, but in a fun way. Some of the levels are competitions where you compete with other skaters to try and get high scores in 3 runs. Your 2 highest scores get summed up and that's your final score. The way you score in the game is by performing tricks and linking them for combos. As you do this without falling, you will start to fill up a special meter that once that's filled, you'll be able to perform special tricks specific to each skater. There are a total of 24 skaters, including 2 secret skaters, 1 DLC, and 8 new skaters to the franchise, each with their own stats and abilities. The skater abilities really matter and you can actually feel them if they're lacking in a certain stat. Luckily, there are also 4 stat points scattered throughout each level to help you boost your favorite skater. There are technically 2 single player modes to complete levels through Crew Tour, where the progression of the level is shared amongst all the skaters. And there's also Solo, where the progression is kept individual per skater. Although it was nice to see some of the skaters from the first game return, the first thing I wanted to do was to create my own skater. I was happy with the choices in wardrobe, but it lacked in physical features for me. Felt very generic. And as you can tell, I guess I decided to make a Joker henchman from the Arkham games. Did not notice that till now. Okay. Claiming rewards for completing challenges is how you level up, unlock new tricks, item points, and all kind of stuff. There's tons to unlock here, including parts to use to create your own park, which is fairly easy to do once you get the hang of it. I tried, it's just I'm not the creative type to make something cool. I'm too wild, too many ideas come out at the same time. I'm sure with some practice I could come up with something decent, but luckily there are a lot more creative minds out there, so I can just download their parks instead. But I didn't feel the need to. I was happy with the 19 levels provided by both games. Some levels are more restricting than others, and others are way more open. And some are slight copy-paste, like the warehouse and the hangar. But they all have their certain fun little charm to them. Like I said for the third time now, I played the first one, so those levels did hit me in the nostalgia, especially the warehouse and the mall. I love those levels. That might be the reason why I feel like the levels from the first are better overall. Could be the nostalgia, but let me know what you think. Which is your favorite stage, and would you rather have the stages from the first game or the second? It's always great to see something you enjoyed be spruced up with better graphics 20 plus years later, and it looks and feels great. The later pro skaters really missed the mark on the feel, which this one completely nails. And visually it's also impressive, recreating each level to the T. It's basically what you would think this remake would and should look like. But it's only great to see remakes when they're done correctly, which I believe Activision did. You know, it's a great remake when you don't really need the tutorial and you can just grab the controller and you know exactly how to do things off of memory. They also took features from other games like the ability to do reverts, spine transfers, wall plants, as well as tricks like double flips to be able to switch between certain trick types such as grind, lips, and manuals in one sequence. But they also give you the option to switch these features off that were not available in the original. So if you wish to have a more classic experience, you can do that. I do wish that one of the other features would have been the ability to get off the board to run around and climb stuff, but that's just me. Again, that could just be me being an underground mark. These features give the controls a fresh yet nostalgic feeling to them. And same goes for the soundtrack, which is one of the main things fans probably remember from the originals. The songs, similar to the gameplay, are a great mixture of classics from the original and newer stuff that I can imagine hearing at a skate shop. Sound design has always been iconic, from the record scratch to the sound of doing specials to completing goal cues. It's all simple yet very satisfying. I guess I can also say that about the gameplay. It's simple and satisfying and fun. I think that's why I really hate the 2-minute aspect of it so much, because I just want it to be longer. Yes, I know there's free skate mode, but it's just not the same. After you complete the game, you get game mods like big or small skater, perfect balance, and whatever was considered cheats in the original. The cosmetics ones are fun, but now that I'm older, I consider perfect balance ones kind of suck the challenge and the fun out of it, especially in multiplayer. Completing your long ass combo will always come down to how you land and your balance meter. So the longer you balance, the more sensitive the meter becomes. So you can be on a 100k plus combo and get greedy on a manual and lose it all. The classic multiplayers return, like Trick Attack, Graffiti, and all the other ones, our favorite being Horse. This definitely sparked our over 20-year-old sibling rivalry in my home. I've always been captivated by the skater world. Since I can't actually skate, I turn to video games to peek my head into that world. Even though the Skate franchise provides a more real experience, the Tony Hawk series provides a more silly, fun, and arcadey side. Even with the time restrictions, I enjoyed the rebooted nostalgia and had so much fun beating each level, and it's probably one of those games that has earned a permanent spot on my Xbox for multiplayer purposes. I'm willing to say, so far it's the best remake since Resident Evil 2, and its handful of awards seem to back that. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this franchise nostalgic for you? Have you played the remake? Any and all thoughts, please let me know. Leaving a like is a gnarly way to support the channel, and if you thought this video was sick, please consider subscribing for more reviews like this, and remember, always and forever, you do you.